Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the world of information technology. IT. We're going to break down what's really going on behind the scenes, powering everything from that email you just sent to the files on your computer.
Have you ever really thought about what happens when you click Save or open up an app? It feels instant, right? But that one little click, it kicks off this incredible chain reaction. Behind every single swipe, every login, there's this whole world of technology working together. So let's pull back the curtain and see what makes it all tick, right from the very basics.
All right, so to really get a handle on this, we need to start with a good blueprint. And that means asking the big question, what is information technology? I mean, we throw the term IT around all the time, but what are we actually talking about?
Well, at its core, it's actually pretty straightforward. IT is basically the entire system of computers, software, and networks that any organization, a business, a school, you name it, uses to store, send, and secure information. It's kind of like the digital central nervous system for pretty much any modern operation.
Okay, so every IT system really boils down to two main parts. And a great way to picture this is to think about building a house. First, you've got the physical foundation and the walls, the structure itself. And then you've got everything that goes inside. The design, the plumbing, the electricity, all the stuff that actually makes it a livable home.
So let's start with the hardware. This is the stuff you can actually touch and feel. It's the physical parts of your computer system. We're talking about the monitor you're looking at right now, the keyboard your hands are on, the mouse you're using, and of course, all those powerful little bits and pieces humming away inside the computer case. And inside that case, you've got some really key players. Think of the CPU, the central processing unit, as the brain. It's doing all the thinking and processing instructions. Then you have the hard drive, which is like the long-term memory, where all your files and photos are stored permanently. RAM, or random access memory, is more like your short-term memory, or maybe a workbench. It's super fast and holds whatever you're currently working on. And the motherboard? Well, that's the backbone connecting everything, making sure the brain can talk to the memory and all the other parts.
Right, so if the hardware is the physical body, then the software, that's the mind. It's the part you can't touch. It's the set of instructions, the programs, the code that tells all that physical hardware what to do. It's what makes the computer do anything at all, from starting up to letting you watch this.
And software isn't just one thing. It's kind of built in layers. At the very bottom, you have the system software. That's your operating system, like Windows or Mac OS. Its job is to manage all the hardware. Then, on top of that, you have application software. These are the apps you use every day, like your web browser or a word processor. And then, kind of working in the background, is utility software, things like your antivirus or disk cleanup tools, just keeping everything running smoothly and safely.
So here's the bottom line. You absolutely cannot have one without the other. It's a partnership. The hardware is the physical potential, but it's the software that tells it what to do. They're two sides of the very same coin. One's the body, one's the mind. You need both for anything to happen.
Okay, so we've got our hardware and our software. We're all set, right? Well, not quite. It's not enough to just have these things, especially for a business. They need to be looked after, managed, maintained, and protected. And that brings us to some really key management functions.
When you think about what an IT department does all day, their job really boils down to three main things: keeping the system safe, keeping it running smoothly, and helping the people who use it. That's it. Secure, efficient, and supported. Let's start with the first one, which is arguably the most important these days: protecting the system. This is a huge job. It includes cybersecurity, fighting off viruses and phishing attacks. It means making sure all your important data is backed up, just in case something terrible happens. And it means setting up security so that only the people who are supposed to see sensitive information can actually get to it.
All right, next up is managing the system. This is all about the day-to-day work of keeping the engine humming. We're talking about managing the network to make sure everything is fast and reliable, keeping track of all the physical devices, from laptops to servers, and automating all those little routine tasks to make everything more efficient.
And last but definitely not least is supporting the user. Let's be honest, technology doesn't always work perfectly. So a massive part of IT is just helping people. That could be fixing a weird bug in a program, or being that friendly voice on the help desk that gets you back up and running when your computer decides to have a bad day. It's all about keeping people productive.
So there you have it. We've built our digital house with hardware and software, and we've got the IT team managing it all to keep the lights on. But why does any of this matter to you if you're not an IT pro? Why should you care?
Well, here's why. Because IT isn't some side department hiding in the basement anymore. It is the engine of modern business. Think about it. From making remote work possible to crunching the data that drives big decisions, a solid IT setup is absolutely crucial for any company to survive, let alone innovate.
And because of that, the need for people who understand this stuff is just exploding. I mean, check this out. Some projections show that IT jobs could grow by something like 33% just in the decade from 2020 to 2030. That's huge. This isn't some small niche industry anymore. It's at the very heart of our economy.
And really, that brings us to the most important point. In a world that's just filled with devices and apps, knowing the basics of how it all works is becoming a core life skill. Seriously, it just makes you better at your job, a better problem solver when things go wrong, and way more comfortable in this digital world we all live in.
So there you have it, the building blocks of IT. The physical hardware, the intelligent software, and the management that keeps it all working together. But you know, technology is changing at a wild pace. So I want to leave you with a question to chew on. As we look ahead, which of these areas, the hardware, the software, or the management and security of it all, do you think is going to change our world the most?